Most men think a nickname is just something playful, but here's the truth. Nobody tells you the right nickname can do what 100 compliments never will. It slips past her logic. It hits her emotions. It makes her feel seen in a way she didn't expect. Women get attention every day, but almost none of it leaves a mark. The man who gives her a nickname that fits her energy, he becomes unforgettable. Have you ever noticed how a woman forgets your compliments, but she remembers the one nickname that made her blush? That's because a nickname isn't a word. It's psychological territory. It tells her, I see a version of you no one else sees. And the moment she feels that, attraction starts forming quietly, even if she tries to hide it. But here's the problem. Most men use nicknames from insecurity. Too early, too often, too hungry for validation. And when a man leads from weakness, the nickname becomes noise. Generic, forgettable, powerless. A real nickname only works when it feels earned. When it comes from a grounded man who observes instead of tries, who names instead of begs. Women don't fall for the nickname itself. They fall for the man behind it. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how to become that man. The one whose words stay in her mind long after you walk away. Number 1, Shorty. There's a reason Shorty hits different, even when the woman you're talking to isn't actually short. It's because this nickname doesn't describe her body. It describes the dynamic between you. Every woman has a hidden part of her that loves when a man sees through her armor and treats her like someone he's completely comfortable with. Most guys talk to women like they're walking on eggshells. They're polite, filtered, and terrified of stepping out of line. But a man who calls her Shorty with a calm, grounded tone, he's showing her he's not afraid of her beauty, her attitude, or the emotional walls she's built to protect herself. And here's the psychology behind it. Teasing creates polarity. Not the childish, insecure teasing men use when they don't know how to flirt, but the kind that says, I see you, I'm not intimidated, and I'm comfortable leading this moment. When you say Shorty, you're not making fun of her. You're anchoring a dynamic. You're positioning yourself as the grounded one, the stable one, the one who doesn't chase her energy but redirects it. This taps directly into her feminine instinct, because women don't fall for perfection. They fall for presence. Think about it this way. Men bond through challenge, but women bond through contrast. Her day is filled with people who take her too seriously or treat her like she's untouchable. You, on the other hand, show her she can be playful, light, and soft around you. And that shift in energy is far more powerful than any compliment you could give. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. When you use Shorty, you're demonstrating control over your own mind. You're not reacting to her energy. You're shaping it. But here's the part most men get wrong. A nickname like this only works when it comes from calm confidence, not try-hard humor. You say it once in the right moment, not 10 times hoping for a reaction. The magic is in the casualness. Say it when she's trying to act tough. Say it when she's being dramatic. Say it when she's pretending she doesn't care, because beneath that act, she wants a man who can bring her back to her feminine center. Number 2, Angel. There's a reason the nickname Angel melts women in a way they'll never openly admit. It touches the part of a woman that wants to feel cherished, valued, and seen for her softness, not just her appearance. In a world where women are constantly judged, compared, and sexualized, being called Angel is like being wrapped in emotional warmth. It's not a compliment about how she looks. It's a reflection of how she affects you. And women bond far deeper through the impact they have on a man than through anything you say directly. Psychologically, Angel taps into something ancient. Femininity is built on nurturing gentleness, intuition, and inner light. When you call her Angel, you're acknowledging that part of her, the part she hides because so many people take advantage of it. Most women build a hard shell over the years. Betrayal, disappointment, and modern dating force them into a masculine stance just to survive emotionally. But this nickname reminds her she doesn't have to stay guarded with you. It says, I see the good in you, and I value it. That alone is powerful. But here's where it becomes even more psychologically potent. Women don't just want to feel beautiful. They want to feel like they bring peace into your life, like they add something meaningful to your world. Angel is the nickname that tells her, your presence makes me better. And that strikes deeper than any flirtation or compliment ever will. Epictetus once wrote, what you seek is within yourself. When she hears Angel, she's reminded of her own goodness, her own gentle nature, the parts of herself she forgets when life becomes overwhelming. The key, though, is tone. Angel only works when said with calm confidence, not manipulation or romantic desperation. You don't whisper it like you're worshiping her. You say it like it's obvious, natural, as if you've observed something real in her and you're simply naming it. That makes it sincere. That makes it land. Use it when she's kind, when she goes out of her way for you, when she shows vulnerability or softness she doesn't show the world. Because in those moments, she's not the tough, guarded, modern woman the world forced her to become. She's the feminine core she hides from almost everyone. And when a man names that part of her, she never forgets him. Number 3, little one. There's a reason little one hits a woman in a place she can't defend. It goes straight past her confidence, her independence, and her public persona, and speaks to the softer, more vulnerable part she keeps hidden. This nickname isn't about size. It's about emotional polarity. It reminds her, instantly, that she doesn't have to be strong around you, that she can let go, that she can slip into her feminine without being judged or taken advantage of. And for a woman who spent her whole life carrying weight she never talks about, that feeling is intoxicating. Modern women are taught to be independent, aggressive, and self-reliant. They're praised for being bosses, queens, unbothered, and emotionally impenetrable. But deep down, every woman has a core that craves the opposite polarity, the feeling of being protected, held, cherished, and small in the presence of a grounded man. Little one taps directly into that ancient wiring. It signals that you're not threatened by her strength, and she doesn't have to use it with you. Psychologically, this nickname works because it creates a safe emotional frame. When a woman feels small, she feels free to be vulnerable. She can express softness she hides from the world. And vulnerability is the birthplace of emotional bonding. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you call her little one, you dye her emotions with comfort, safety, and trust, and those feelings bind her to you more powerfully than attraction alone. But here's the nuance most men miss. Little one only works when you're steady. If you're insecure, needy, or anxious, it'll sound patronizing or forced. But when a grounded man uses it, a man whose presence naturally makes a woman relax, it becomes a psychological trigger. It makes her look down, blush, hide her smile, lose her train of thought. She feels herself shift into her feminine. She feels protected, and she loves that feeling more than she'll ever admit. Use it when she's flustered, when she's overwhelmed, when she's overthinking, or when she's being dramatic in that way women often are when they don't feel anchored. Say it calmly, with certainty, like it's the most natural thing in the world. Because to the right woman, being your little one is not an insult. Number 4, sunshine. There's a reason sunshine is one of the most disarming nicknames a man can use, and it has nothing to do with cuteness. It's because this nickname creates emotional imprinting. It tells a woman that her presence changes the atmosphere around you, not her body, not her looks, her energy. Women don't just want to be admired. They want to feel meaningful. They want to feel like they light up a man's world, even if just a little. And when you call her sunshine, you're telling her she has that rare effect on you, subtly, naturally, without trying too hard. Psychologically, this nickname hits deep because it reflects a role women love to step into, the bringer of warmth and emotional brightness. Most men talk about how a woman looks. Almost none talk about how she makes them feel. And that's the difference between being another guy in her notifications and becoming the man she replays in her mind before falling asleep. But here's where sunshine becomes even more powerful. You're not just complimenting her, you're anchoring her identity. You're giving her a role in your emotional landscape. And identity-based nicknames create lasting attraction because they tie her feelings about herself to her feelings about you. Epictetus wrote, "We are disturbed not by events, but by the views we take of them." When you call her sunshine, you shape the lens through which she views herself when she's around you. Warm, bright, wanted. That emotional association becomes addictive. However, this nickname must be used with calibration. It doesn't work if you're overly excited or trying to impress her. It works when it feels like an observation, not a strategy. Say it in a calm, matter-of-fact tone, like you've quietly noticed the effect she has on you, and you're simply acknowledging it. Women melt for authenticity, expressed with masculine restraint. Use it when she smiles unexpectedly, when she sends a playful voice note, when she brightens your mood without realizing it. Use it when she brings chaos into your day, but somehow makes it better just by being there. She'll remember that moment, not because of the word itself, but because you named something she secretly hoped someone would notice. Because every woman wants to be someone's sunshine, but she'll only feel that way in the presence of a man who sees her light and doesn't worship it, just appreciates it. Number 5, doll. Doll is a nickname most men are afraid to use, and the few who do often use it in the wrong way, either too aggressively or too sexually. But when used correctly, doll strikes a uniquely powerful chord in a woman because it speaks to her desire to be admired not just physically, but delicately. It reflects a kind of beauty that isn't loud, messy, or chaotic, but intentional, refined, and worthy of appreciation. When you call a woman doll, you're telling her you notice the details, the softness in her expression, the care in her appearance, the efforts she makes that most men overlook completely. Women rarely hear this kind of acknowledgement in a meaningful way. Modern dating has turned compliments into currency, cheap, overused, and thrown out at random. But doll isn't a compliment. It's recognition. It's saying, I see the softness you put into the world. And psychologically, that's what makes it powerful. Women crave to be admired in a way that makes them feel cherished, not consumed. Doll gives them that feeling if you use it with calm, masculine confidence. This nickname also taps into the deeper feminine instinct of being cared for. Dolls are delicate, precious, and handled with intention. Now, this doesn't mean you're treating her like she's fragile. It means you're seeing the femininity she often hides behind strength, sarcasm, or independence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind." When you call her doll, you subtly guide her mind into feeling valued, appreciated, and safe to lean into her feminine side around you. Tone is everything. Say it too eagerly, and it sounds needy. Say it with sexual intention, and it becomes objectifying. Say it without confidence, and it loses all meaning. The right way to use doll is slow, calm, almost reflective, like you're acknowledging something she didn't expect you to notice. Use it when she's dressed up, when she's being gentle, or when she does something unintentionally cute. Use it when she's brushing her hair behind her ear, or focusing on something with that soft concentration women have. Because when a man calls a woman doll correctly, he doesn't just make her feel attractive. He makes her feel special. He makes her feel seen, and he becomes the man she wants to look beautiful for again. Number 6, trouble. Trouble is the nickname that makes almost every woman smirk, look down, or bite her lip, even if she tries to hide it. Why? Because trouble goes into a part of her identity she secretly enjoys but rarely gets to express. The chaotic, mischievous, unpredictable energy most men are too weak or too serious to handle. When you call her trouble, you're not accusing her of anything. You're acknowledging the spark she brings into your life, the unpredictability, the way she disrupts your calm in a way that feels exciting, not stressful. And women love being the kind of chaos a man willingly chooses. Psychologically, this nickname works because it flips the script. Women often worry about being too much, too emotional, too dramatic, too complicated. Trouble reframes that insecurity as an attractive quality. Instead of saying, you're difficult, you're saying, I see your fire and I'm not afraid of it. That's powerful, that's masculine, and it creates immediate emotional tension, the good kind, the kind that builds chemistry, not conflict. This nickname also communicates something deeper, that you're not intimidated by her. Most men either pedestalize women or avoid any emotional intensity. But a man who calls her trouble is comfortable enough in his masculine center to flirt with her edges. He's not thrown off by her mood swings, her teasing, her boldness, or her playfulness. He's steady, he's calm, he's anchored. Women crave that emotional stability even when they test it, and trouble subtly lets her know she won't be able to destabilize you. Epictetus said, no great thing is created suddenly. And attraction, real attraction, is built on the slow creation of emotional contrast. Trouble creates that contrast instantly. It tells her you're not boring, you're not predictable, you're not a man who needs peace to feel powerful. You can handle her energy without losing yourself. The key is timing. Use trouble when she's being playful, when she's pushing your buttons, when she's teasing you, or when she's doing something dramatic in a way she hopes you'll notice. Say it with a half smirk, a relaxed voice, and complete certainty. Because the power of this nickname comes from your composure, not the word itself. Because every woman wants to feel like she's dangerous in the right man's hands. And every woman wants the rare man who's strong enough to enjoy her chaos without losing his calm. Number 7, princess. Princess is the most misunderstood nickname in the male vocabulary. When the wrong man uses it, it sounds needy, desperate, or like he's putting her on a pedestal she hasn't earned. But when the right man uses it, a grounded masculine man who is selective with his affection. Princess becomes a psychological trigger. It taps into a woman's deep craving for elevated feminine identity. Not the social media princess treatment nonsense, but the ancient feminine desire to feel chosen by a man who values her softness and energy above the noise of the world. The reason this nickname is powerful is simple. Women want to feel special, but only in the presence of a man who doesn't make every woman feel special. If you use princess casually with everyone, it's empty. But if you use it sparingly, at the right moment with the right tone, it becomes a signal of honor. It tells her she holds a position in your emotional world that other women don't. Psychologically, this taps directly into her need for emotional hierarchy. She doesn't want to be one of many. She wants to be the one who stands out. But here's the nuance. Princess only works when it comes from strength, not submission. If you say it while trying to impress her, she'll feel the weakness in your voice. If you say it to overcompensate for insecurity, she'll pull away. But when you say it with calm, masculine certainty, like you're acknowledging a truth she already knows, she melts. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you call her princess, you dye her thoughts with value, safety, and emotional elevation. You're telling her she has a softness and grace you respect. Use princess when she's being gentle, when she's done something thoughtful, when she's radiating feminine energy, not when she's chaotic or defensive. Say it when she's showing you her purest self, laughing softly, leaning on you, helping you in a small way, or trying to hide her blush. The key is timing. One well-placed princess hits harder than 1,000 compliments. And the beauty of this nickname is this. When a strong man uses it, he doesn't make her feel superior to him. He makes her feel cherished by him, elevated within his world, safely feminine under his masculine frame. Because every woman has a princess inside her, but only a rare man knows how and when to bring her out. Number 8, Smarty. Smarty is the nickname that hits women in a place they're starving for, their intelligence. Most men compliment a woman's beauty, some compliment her personality, but almost no man compliments her mind in a way that feels genuine, intentional, and masculine. And here's the truth women rarely admit. Being called beautiful feels good, but being recognized for their intelligence feels unforgettable. Smarty is powerful because it tells her, I see the substance behind your smile. I see the sharpness behind your softness, and I value it. Psychologically, women bond deeper through emotional and intellectual connection than through physical attraction alone. Beauty gets attention. Intelligence creates attachment. When you call her Smarty, you're saying she challenges you, intrigues you, and stimulates you in a way most people don't. You're telling her she's not just someone you want. She's someone you respect. And respect is the quiet foundation of a woman's long-term desire. This nickname also flips a dynamic women rarely experience. It makes her feel admired for something she worked for, not something she was born with. Anyone can call her pretty. It takes observation and presence to call her Smarty at the right moment. It tells her she stands out in your mind, not because of what she looks like, but because of how she thinks. Epictetus taught only the educated are free. When you call her Smarty, you're acknowledging the freedom, sharpness, and depth in her thinking, qualities she rarely gets recognized for. The key is authenticity. Don't use Smarty sarcastically, like a teenager teasing his crush. Use it when she actually earns it, when she says something clever, solves a problem, makes an insightful comment, or surprises you with her perspective. The tone should be warm, low, and lightly teasing, like you're proud of her but also challenged by her. Say it in a way that makes her feel like she just impressed a man she values. Because here's the truth. Women fall hardest for the man who sees every layer of them, not just the obvious ones. Smarty tells her you're paying attention, that her mind affects you, that her intelligence matters, and that she's not just another pretty face in a world of superficial attention. Because every woman wants to feel desired, but the woman you truly want, she also wants to feel understood. Number 9, Honey. Honey is one of the simplest nicknames a man can use, yet it carries one of the deepest emotional effects. It's warm, it's familiar, it's intimate without being dramatic, and unlike the more playful or teasing nicknames, Honey speaks to something quieter inside a woman. Her desire for emotional safety. In a world full of temporary connections, fast hookups, and shallow conversations, Honey signals steadiness. It tells her, I'm not here to play games with you. I'm here to connect. For a woman who's been hurt, ghosted, or left guessing, that feeling is rare and therefore powerful. Psychologically, honey works because it creates a sense of home. Women bond through emotional comfort far more than men realize. When she hears you call her honey, she feels a softening inside her chest. A melting, a disarming, a shift from vigilance to openness. It makes her feel like she matters, like she has a place in your emotional world. Marcus Aurelius said, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." This nickname reflects that principle. It shows warmth, patience, and tenderness without sacrificing your masculine grounding. Honey is also deeply symbolic. Honey is sweet, natural, slow, and soothing. Qualities women crave to embody around the right man. Most of the time, they have to be sharp, alert, defensive. But when a man calls her honey with calm confidence, he gives her permission to return to her softer nature. She gets to be gentle. She gets to feel safe. She gets to feel like she can let her guard down without being punished for it. And that is where emotional bonding begins. But like all powerful nicknames, timing matters. Honey isn't for the early stages when the connection is fragile or uncertain. It's not a nickname you use to reel her in. It's one you use when she's already opening up, when she's being vulnerable, kind, affectionate, or emotionally honest. Say it when she's sharing something personal. Say it when she's showing genuine tenderness. Say it when she's being sweet without realizing it. The tone should be soft, low, and steady. Not overly enthusiastic, not childish, not overly romantic. Just warm, natural, masculine. Because every woman wants to feel like she brings warmth into a man's life. And honey tells her she does. Number 10, baby girl. Baby girl is not a nickname you use casually. It's not for every woman. It's not for early stages. And it's not for situations where the emotional foundation hasn't been built yet. This nickname carries weight, real weight. It signals intimacy, protection, and a kind of emotional claiming that only works when there's already a strong connection or chemistry. Women may act tough, independent, and unbothered, but the moment the right man calls her baby girl, something inside her softens instantly. It speaks directly to the deepest part of the feminine psyche, the part that wants to feel chosen, held, and adored by a man who is strong enough to protect her but gentle enough to cherish her. Psychologically, baby girl works because it blends innocence with desire. It acknowledges her vulnerability while also acknowledging her femininity. It's intimate, emotional, and grounding all at once. It tells her, "You're mine in the way that matters." Emotionally, most nicknames play with energy. This one anchors it. This is the nickname that makes a woman blush without trying. The one that makes her want to curl into your chest. The one that bypasses her independence and speaks to her softness. And the softness she hides is always the softness she wants the right man to see. But here's the truth most men don't understand. If you haven't earned the right to use it, it will backfire instantly. It'll sound forced, fake, cringeworthy. Women can feel the difference between a man who says, "baby girl," from confidence, and a man who says it hoping to create intimacy he hasn't actually built. You must be emotionally grounded, steady, calm, and deeply confident in your presence before this nickname lands. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." And that quote applies perfectly here. If you're using this nickname to control her feelings, it won't work. But if you're using it because it naturally flows from genuine connection, it becomes magnetic. Use baby girl when she's opening up, when she's shy around you, when she's showing vulnerability she doesn't show others. Use it when she's leaning into you, emotionally or physically. Say it in a low, slow tone, like you're stating a fact, not performing a line. Because this nickname isn't said for reaction, it's said from presence. There's something you need to understand before this video ends. Something deeper than nicknames, deeper than flirting, deeper than attraction itself. Every one of those names, from shorty to baby girl, works for one reason, because a woman responds to who she becomes in your presence. Not the version she shows the world, not the version shaped by trauma, fear, or masculine pressure, but the version of herself that finally feels safe enough to be soft, expressive, feminine, chaotic, vulnerable, real. Men chase women by trying to impress them. Strong men inspire women by revealing them. Every nickname you choose is a mirror. It shows her who she is around you. And if that version of her feels cherished, playful, intelligent, light, soft, or protected, she will gravitate toward you without even understanding why. Attraction isn't an equation. It's an emotional identity loop. When she feels better about herself in your presence, she returns to you again and again. But here's the part most men refuse to swallow. A nickname only has power when you have power. Power over your tone, your emotions, your energy, your intention. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Women feel that. They feel the difference between a man who names them from need and a man who names them from presence. The first pushes them away. The second pulls them in. So let me tell you something as your older brother. Nicknames aren't about being cute. They aren't about sounding smooth. They aren't about copying what works for someone else. They're about seeing a woman accurately, catching the small details, the hidden softness, the fleeting vulnerability, and honoring it with a name only she evokes. That's what separates a forgettable man from a man she thinks about when she's alone in her room, replaying your words in her mind. If this video gave you clarity, comment below. Name her energy correctly. It tells me you watched until the end, and that you're becoming the kind of man who doesn't settle for average understanding. Subscribe if you're ready to build real confidence, real presence, and real masculine power. And welcome, brother, to the men who lead, not chase.